各位记者朋友，大家下午好。
Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. Now the floor is open to questions.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问：联合国拉丁美洲
CCTV, according to the International Trade Outlook for Latin America and the Caribbean 2024, issued by ICLAC, China is an important trade partner and the fastest growing export market for this region. From 2000 to 2022, goods trade between the region and China expanded 35 times, while the region's total trade with the world only increased fourfold. So how do you comment on the trade and economic cooperation between China and the region? Mutual benefit and win-win results are the overarching principle for the growth of relations between China and Latin America and the Caribbean. Just as the report indicates, the trade volume between the two sides kept increasing in recent years, which reached $489 billion last year, and in the first 3 quarters this year, the trade hit $427 billion, up by 7.7% year-on-year, and the total amount for the whole year is expected to exceed $500 billion. Since the beginning of the new century, the region's trade in goods with China has grown at a much faster rate than that with the world, underlying the highly complementary nature of the economies of both sides. Due to the advantage of providing off-season supply, chili, which is farthest from China in this region, has become China's second largest source of fresh fruit imports, and Chilean cherries are now star products here in China. China's new energy industry chain offers a more affordable resolution for the region's green transformation. So far, China has 5 free trade partners in the region and has signed an early harvest arrangement of free trade agreement with Honduras and concluded substantial negotiations to upgrade the FTA with Peru. The surge of trade in goods between the two sides is supported by the huge market and the bright prospect between the two sides. China is the world's second largest economy and largest consumer market, with a middle-income group totaling over 400 million, and that number is expected to hit 800 million. Latin America has a population of 6,600 million with younger demographic composition and boasts enormous potential for economic development. With the concerted efforts from both sides, our trade in goods will continue to grow fast and achieve win-win results at a higher level. Next question, please.
晚上好，塔斯实记者提问。
TASS. It's reported that on the sidelines of the upcoming APEC summit, President Biden will meet with President Xi Jinping on November 16th. Can you confirm that?
中方将
China will release information in due course. Next question, please.
Hi, question from Bloomberg.
彭博社，美国官员在周三时发表声明称，中国政府支持的黑客进行了广泛而重大的网络间谍活动，并且《纽约时报》也报道，这些黑客活动的目标是特朗普总统，还有他的竞选伙伴万斯，另外还包括副总统哈里斯。你对此有何评论？
中方在网络安全问题
China's position on cybersecurity is consistent. We have no interest in interfering in other countries' internal affairs through the cyberspace. We also oppose spreading China-related disinformation out of political agenda. Next question, please.
Question from Reuters. Source.
路透社提问：台湾前总统蔡英文将于近日
立场是一贯。
China's position on the Taiwan question is consistent and clear. We firmly oppose any Taiwan independence separatists visiting any country with diplomatic relations with China in whatever name. We urge relevant country to abide by the One China principle and take concrete actions to safeguard the political foundation of bilateral relations. Next question, please.
谢谢。深圳卫视执新闻。据报道，菲律宾武装。
Shenzhen TV, the Philippine Army spokesperson said that the Army is considering purchasing the Typhon mid-range capability missile system. Philippine Defense Secretary said, we do indeed plan to acquire capabilities of such sort, and the system increases deterrence. And he also said that the Philippines has the right to acquire such kind of capabilities. What's your comment? On the U.S. deployments of mid-range capability missile system in the Philippines, China has made clear our opposition more than once. Let me stress again that the Philippines, by bringing in this offensive strategic weapon, is enabling a country outside the region to fuel tensions and antagonism in this region and incite geopolitical confrontation and arms race. Such move is provocative and dangerous. It is an extremely irresponsible choice to its own people and people of all Southeast Asian countries, to history and to regional security. What the region needs is peace and prosperity, not the missile system or confrontation. We once again urge the Philippines to heed the call from regional countries and their peoples, correct its wrongdoings as soon as possible, quickly pull out the Typhon missile system as publicly pledged, and stop going further down the wrong path. Next question, please.
日本广播协会提问：美国当选特朗普总。
HK, Trump nominated Senator Rubio as Secretary of State, and he has been on a sanction list since 2020. Will China lift the sanctions on him? Also, with the unveiling of a series of new appointments, how does China view the impact on the upcoming relations?
我没有可以提。
On your first question, I have no information to share. On your second question, the appointment of officials are the internal affairs of the United States. We have no comment on that. China's policy on the U.S. is consistent and clear. Next question, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
I have a question from Bloomberg. Bloomberg reported citing.
彭博社报道，在秘鲁的峰会期间，乌克兰的盟友将就朝鲜派兵乌克兰对中国施压。你对此有评论？
This is a hypothetical question. I do not have a comment on that. What I can tell you is that China's position on the Ukraine issue is consistent and clear, and the constructive role China has played is widely recognized by the international community. Next question, please.
日本广播协会提问：据悉。
Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba is expected to meet with President Xi on the sidelines of APEC, which will be his first meeting with President Xi after taking office. Can you give us more details? And what's China's expectation for the meeting?
你提到的具体
On the meeting you mentioned, I have no information to share at the moment. Next question, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
好，那今天的记者会到此。
That concludes today's press conference. Thank you for coming.